Equity LLP, an organization designed as an expert organization by the Government of Maharashtra for district strategic planning under the State 1 Trillion Economy Mission, which form an integral part of Indian vision to achieve a 5 trillion economy.
Still good morning? Still good morning, eh? So, see, I am not a very good speaker. Right? So, listen to me very not carefully because you need not to go for exam of this, whatever I am telling. Right? Relax, enjoy, and listen to me. Okay. So, formally, I should tell something because nobody is there. I am only talking about respected production managers, products, and customers present in this occasion. Somebody is laughing. So many one is laughing. Basically, about 35 years back, a cell in the name of Industry Institution Coordination was formed by Government of India long back in, I think, 1989 or 90. So since then it is 35 years of Industry Institute interaction. Under this innovation and entrepreneurship, this concept started in the year, I think maybe 10 years back, 2009 and 2010. Later on, it was redesignated as Atal Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship Cell. So, 35 years have passed while Institute is interacting with industry, and there is a special cell in the name of Industry Institute Interaction Cell. After 35 years, wherever I go, if I tell their production managers, products and customers, they laugh. Actually, all the faculty are actually production managers because they produce good students. And whenever you pass out of this any institute, you tell I am a product of IIT, I am a product of IIM, I am a product of NIT. So if you are a product, so those who are making you are surely production managers. And after passing wherever you are going, serving to any industry is customer of this institute. So it is all basic is production managers, products and your customers. So I am not a good speaker. So I will tell something related to innovation, incubation and entrepreneurship, my journey. So you want to listen a failure journey? It was a failure journey because you must have had many success journeys. Somebody has told you or you have read somewhere all success journeys. You want to listen a failure journey also? If you don't want to listen failure journey, then I will make some innovation and make this journey as success journey. So that will also be same. So listen to a failure journey. Okay. In 2010, first let me give a disclaimer. Any resemblance to any character or events or people to any institute or industry or society is purely coincidental. Okay, this is with this disclaimer I am starting my journey, failure journey as innovator, failure journey as incubator, and failure journey as entrepreneur. Okay, so nobody is talking anything. And this is not classroom. You can shout also. No, sir, we don't want to listen. Not classroom. Huh? So in 2009, 2009, this innovation, incubation, and entrepreneurship cell was started, conceptualized, and started by central government. I had an opportunity to visit this institute in 2010, very first year of starting off this innovation, incubation, and entrepreneurship cell. You will be proud to listen to this. When I visited this institute in 2010, I found this institute started an incubation cell, and one boy and one girl was working in that incubation cell. If I can remember the name of that girl was maybe Aparna or Arpita, something like that. Arpita. And I forgot the name of the boy. Mohit. Two were there inside that cell. I was very much astonished to see just government started declared that you should start like this cell for bringing new entrepreneurs into the society, and Triple ITM started that. So I think they are doing well now. They have become entrepreneurs and they are doing well. So after that, during my life period, about after 5-10 years of working, what I felt is that this degree or diploma in science or technology or engineering should be like a driving license. It should be renewed every 5 years or 6 years or 7 years, and then only again you can, after 6 years, you can write IMB or BTech or MSc or something related to science, technology or engineering. Because every day things are changing. You passed in 1980, I passed in 1980, and due to my experience, exposure, and working with various industries, I was getting promoted. When I was getting promotion, I was thinking that many new things has come which I don't know, and there is no way that I can renew again, get admission to engineering college, and start again learning what has happened recently and what I should know. So with that idea, I thought that there must be some system of learning when I am going up in the ladder. I became head of HR and business excellence with L&T, Tata, JK Tire, Indorama, many industries. So then I used to think the new boys coming with latest technology or something, I am guiding them. How can I guide them when I have passed in 1980 and they are joining in 2000 or 2010-5? So something innovative came into my mind. So that gave a click to me that I should leave industry and join some institute to know why entrepreneurs or big MNCs, they say, students coming out of any engineering college or science college or university are not employable. So why this? So with that innovative idea of leaving industry and willingness of joining to any institute to know that, such that in future I can start my own company. I thought the name also, India's Most Wanted. Whoever will be passing from my academic institute, not institute, academic skill type institute, they will get immediate job, because I was knowing what entrepreneurs or what corporate people they want. So I can teach them after B or BSc or MSc or BCom, whatever it is. So they will come to me, I will make them employable, and immediately they will get the job. So for doing that, I must go to a incubation center. With this innovation, I should go to an incubation center where I can learn that what is the problem with the institutes and what I should teach students to make them employable, which is not taught in the colleges or universities or any institutes. So I was one day discussing this with many people. Someday I met a director of an Indian institute. He told me that if you are having this idea, students are also going to be benefited by your this idea, and you will also learn new technology. And as an entrepreneur, this will be a very good incubation center if you join any Indian institute. So with that, I started thinking that whether I should come to a institute, because institute at that time, whatever was the grade of professors, the salary what we are getting in corporates as head of any corporate, either Mahindra or L&T, was not even one third of what it is, what we are getting there. So one day, the director of an Indian institute, he told me, sir, we can take you as adjunct professor, but we will not be able to give you that salary because there are some constraints in a government organization. So you will be getting X amount, which is one third of what you are getting now. But I wanted to have an incubation center to know what is happening, to become an entrepreneur. So I thought when I am getting a big Indian institute as incubation center, I should immediately join. So I left the organization and joined that Indian institute. So one day the director told me, one new course has come in MBA 4th semester. Oh, it's called Entrepreneurship Development, and you need to take that course. So I said, sir, I do not have any idea about this, so please tell some other professors who are having idea about this, let them go, sir, don't send me. He said, no, you have worked for many entrepreneurs and you have handled many companies as vice president, general manager, so you are the fittest person to take the class. Then I told him, sir, students will ask, you have come to teach us how to become an entrepreneur, but why you did not become an entrepreneur? So sir, बड़े मुश्किल हो जाएगी. Don't send me in that class. Then also he said, no, you have to go. So I went to the class and I thought when I have to go to the class, I should get myself prepared. What I should tell them. So I tell them a story. That one boy wanted to play cricket. Suddenly he heard a sound of many people gathering outside his house for playing cricket. So he was very much interested to become entrepreneur playing cricket. So he took a tool. By standing on the top of the tool, he opened the bolt of the door and came out and crossed his boundary wall and went on the other side and played the entire 20 over game. Next day morning, his mother was very angry. He started giving a little bit gyan. You are doing this. If you fell from the tool, what is going to happen? Your teeth, you will break your teeth and there will be problem. So don't do this. Huh? No more playing like this. Don't go like this. But he wanted to become entrepreneur. Khelna to hai. I have to go out for playing cricket. So next day he started pulling a big size sofa, which will not fall immediately on if he stands on that. So he pulls that big size sofa and take it in front of the door and then open the bolt and then cross the jump the boundary wall and go for playing. By that time, he plays only 19 overs. So next day, his mother was very furious, and she thought of complaining it to his father. ये मेरा बात सुनता नहीं है, now you handle him. So his father came and said, "Beta, this is not like this. It is not only while opening bolt something will happen. You are jumping the wall also. So you know the wall is made of ita, gitti, ita, this, that, so cement, mortar, concrete. So if the mixture is not proper, so any time it will come, it will fall and it will get hard. So don't jump and cross from over this boundary wall. So he had some more knowledge. That can also happen if the mixture of sand is to cement, is to brick is not proper, then it will come out. Okay, with that knowledge, he went again, he pushed that sofa, opened that bolt, went outside, started examining which part is loose, and then he decided that this seems to be okay. And then he jumps over that and start playing. That day he plays 18 overs. So now as you check this, there are some other things also. Curing of that wall. So proper curing is not done, then also it will come out. Then he knows some more gyan. Class 12 ho gaya. Some more gyan. That okay, this is also a problem. Next day he starts finding out, examining whether the wall is properly cured or not. He doesn't know how to check that. So he was trying with some danda ki maar ke dekhte hain, tried with some another ita, thok ke dekhte hain. Then he jumped and went out and played only 16 over, 17 over, 16 over. So next day he was handed over to his grandparent. Grandparent said, "ये सब करने ही, you need not to go out, you stay here only." Then he thought कि कौन इतना लफड़े में जाता है? Why jumping wall? I will jump the gate. So next day he jumps the gate. Now he is in the college. Now grandparents started telling them, "See, there are pipe and bars in the gate. So there are A class pipe, B class pipe, and C class pipe. If pipe is A class, that will break if you." So slowly, every day he is learning something and playing less, one over less. So till you reach an engineering college or a management college, already you are late by 5-6 years, and now you will be competing with someone who is playing 20 over. You will get a chance to play only 14 over. So winning in 40 over, when you are playing 40 over, someone is playing 20 overs, it is very difficult to win in 14 overs. But many teachers are sitting here, they may be thinking we are talking about innovation and then incubation. So it is not related to our subject, because innovation is something I am innovating and I am coming to the market, and then I am incubating, and then I am starting my own business. So this story doesn't match. But I am telling you why it matches. When I started, now I am telling my own story. When I started, I decided to come in the institute from industry about 15 years back. Then coming to institute from industry was a innovative idea, which now, since last 2-3 years, become compulsory for institute. They have designated professor of practice, and they are being now asked to you bring people from industry to get the feel of it. So what happened? I worked with that Indian institute for only 6 months, and then I found that environment is not conducive for this industry people to come to academia and teach there. So after 6 months, I left that institute and again went back to industry. So the whole idea of my innovation that I will be doing something, I will get this as incubation center, and then I will start a skill academy, and then students will come. I will make them India's most wanted, and they will get immediate employment with someone. Everything lost. But that Indian Institute taught me many things, which today I want to tell you. Very small children are also here. For anything, you need proper time. Number one. To start anything, you need proper time. Number one. Number two, you must scan the environment. When I am starting this, Gwalior में तो suppose Kerala, there is no cold season. So manufacturing very heavy winter clothes will not be good. So when you are a student of MBA, you learn something called pastel analysis. So you need to check the environment also when you are starting, whether environment is conducive to this or not. This is number two. Number three, whether customer exists for your product or not. If there is no customer, then manufacturing of that product has no use. And number fourth is other suppliers prevailing in the market when you are coming to the market. So all four I did wrong. I innovated something when it was not that perfect time to come and start that innovation. I'll just give you one example. Godrej, who has heard about the company Godrej? Raise your hand who has heard about the company Godrej. Only 2, 3. Okay. So Godrej started a liquid soap in the name of Easy. Which year it started, you know? In 1983-84. I was working then with Tomco, an oil company which was also producing soap from wastage of oil, the oil cake. We had a big meeting. Sir, in the market, this liquid soap has come. And Godrej has come out with the liquid soap, then what should we do? Immediate some action should be taken. So one boss, he said, he was in marketing. बोला सर काहे को इतना चिंता करते हो? Society is not ready to accept liquid soap as on date. वो तो किसके धोएगा? और हमारा साबुन चलेगा. क्योंकि you have to remove dust and dirt from your shirt and pant. Liquid soap, how it can do it? So what bar we are making? गोल गोल बड़े बड़े बार बनते थे. You might be not knowing. It was used for heavy rubbing and then cleaning. So he said that meeting is not required. Society is not ready to accept that liquid soap. And we are then started manufacturing it in a double way for about 10, 15 years, 20 years. But suddenly 2004-5, the concept of liquid soap started coming. Now hand wash is liquid, this bathing gel is liquid, shower gel is liquid, dishwasher is liquid. Everything is now liquid soap. So we just come in 2005, 2006, 7. At that time they failed and they stopped the production. It was a very big innovative idea 15 years, 20 years back, but market was not ready to accept that. So innovation should come in a time when market is ready to accept your innovation, otherwise you will fail. So I joined here with an innovative idea, and then I found that now this innovation is society is not ready to take this. Number two, environmental scanning. So which I did wrong was, before joining that Indian Institute, I never scanned, I never talked to the professors or assistant professor, associate professors, ki whether this will be good for leaving a 3 times more salary wala job and coming for 1/3 rupees ka job, whether this is good or not. So I did not have a talk with them. I directly came and I found that I have done a mistake without environmental scanning. So second part, environment scanning is very, very important. So I will give you an example of Tata Nano. Who has heard the name? Tata Nano. It came in West Bengal. So I was part of that project at that time. So without environmental scanning, this Tata project came in Bengal. And what happened? They failed. No, they went to Gujarat. So environmental scanning is very, very important before you start anything taking to it to market. Number 3 is your customers. Customer side, I would like to tell you, customer was very, very interested. I used to have full load of class, 35 students. One day there was a short, so every day only 26 students used to sit in the class out of 45. So I was going to director's room. From the other side, one professor was coming. He asked me, where are you going? I told, I think I am not fit for this. Only 25, 30 students are attending my class. So I am going to tell director that he changed my class. Then he said, Aric sir, 30 students are sitting in your class. Are in my class 15, 20. So I am not complaining why you are complaining. So I went back. So students were happy. So I got a good customer. But the last point, other suppliers existing in the market. The last point, other suppliers existing in the market may not be up to your grade, may not be up to your standard, may not be up to your matching to your thinking process. But you should be very much careful, because if they are very strong, having some other sources through which they can operate, and society cannot control them, so again you are gone. I'll give you another example. BSNL का नाम किसने सुना? BSNL, everybody has heard. Today BSNL is not there. Why BSNL is not there? The other suppliers became strong and they got different type of sources or ways to make BSNL out of the play. There was millions of interested people, satisfied customers for 30, 40, 50 years with BSNL. But every day the marketing thing started coming. क्या है? BSNL भाई साहब नहीं लगेगा. So every day it was fed into the mind of every customer that this is not BSNL भाई साहब नहीं लगेगा. So every day if you go on telling something, that goes inside the mind, भाई साहब नहीं लगेगा, and slowly people were moving to other operators. Other operators were then giving some sort of good offers to those customers. Second, anything who have heard about Nokia? Nokia was the phone and BSNL was the so advertisements started coming. Nokia, Nokia. So they were giving some gap between No and Kia, not writing Nokia. So with this type of propaganda, again your customer go out of your hand. So today, that institute taught me how to become failure when you start as an innovator. You get an incubation center, but you cannot become an entrepreneur. So learning of that institute, I am very grateful to that institute. That learning gave me such a success that today my company is an advisory for India's 5 trillion economy. It's a very, very big project, India's 5 trillion economy, and my company is advisor for Maharashtra 1 trillion economy, which is part of 5 trillion economy. Again, my company is also advisory for a different project for Maharashtra. It is called World Bank project. It is called Mahastride, strengthening Maharashtra. So every day, my team is coming out with thousands of innovative ideas that how to take Maharashtra ahead. The one innovative idea with which I failed, and I learned that innovative idea is only to be given when proper time comes. And that 5 trillion economy, those came, and then strengthening different states for doing something that came. And now, instead of one innovative idea, we are giving thousands of innovative ideas, and all big projects like Mahastride and district strategic planning for Maharashtra government. Now everything we are doing. So with that, I would like to tell you that do you know about 90% of the startup they fail? Only 10% startup they continue even after 3 years. So don't worry if you are failing in innovative incubation or entrepreneurship system. That will teach you such thing. In future, you are going to get the maximum benefit out of it. Okay, thank you very much for patiently listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. Your expertise has been truly enlightening and thought-provoking. Next, we would like to invite Mr. Abhishek Sharma, a visionary leader with over 45 years of distinguished experience in technology and business management. His expertise spans electronic systems, IT and systems integration, mobile app SI solutions, and more recently, over 8 years of impactful work in IoT solutions.
Good afternoon. I didn't hear. Good afternoon. That's it. Say again. Good afternoon. Exactly. If you want to be an innovator, you have to have strength in your voice. We recently heard a very highly thought-provoking talk about innovation from a highly experienced person. I'll also try to convey what I believe and feel about research and innovation. And let me tell you, there are some school students also. Please raise your hands. Oh, the largest number is school students. Okay, I wish I had the power to transfer you straight away to college students, but unfortunately I cannot. But you definitely have the ability to come out with an idea. Okay. Now, there are many points out of this particular topic, but let me start with something very basic. See, how many of you are the college students here, triple ITM? Okay, relatively less number, but yes, still those who are interested, I'm happy about it, and I believe remaining are the faculty. Right? Okay. Nice. So a decent mix of a journey from potential innovator to potential guide and creator. Let me start with something very simple. See, we Indians are highly research oriented and innovator also. Only thing is what we try to research and what we try to innovate. You all must have seen when you live in a society and when somebody new person moves in, research starts. Who has come in my neighborhood? What is happening? If somebody meets something, they research. What are they doing? What are they talking? How to find out? That's also a research. And then they don't get an idea, they try to climb the wall. That's innovation. But that's not the innovation we are looking at here. What we are looking at here are the innovation which takes the country forward. So I would like to say that remember first thing, I have a long journey. I am slightly led by distance of journey a little less. I have not 45, I have 52 years plus working experience. I started my first job in 1973 in the Indian Air Force. And then many things. My career is, it can be called a history also, or it can be called a combination of all dimensions of experience. It is armed forces where it is a journey of completing the projects at a breakneck speed, because there is a very famous saying that a war was lost because of a pin. Can you guys understand why it is said so? I'm asking the youngest of that. Anybody say yes? How a nation is can be lost when without because there was not a pin? Because that pin was required to be attached to an aircraft wheel, split fin. The pin was not there, so the wheel was not fitted, so the aircraft was not fit to take off. Since the aircraft was not fit to take off, their planned mission to bomb the enemy could not take place. Right? So, I am asking you that you have to have that thought process of perfection in your mind when you want to do, and more than that, what I'm trying to say, what is it that your activities are going to achieve? Right? Am I correct? Say, nation first. Do we do that actually? Do we think about it? We always think, what am I going to get? Not only at younger level, at all levels. Fact of the matter is, there was a famous movie, Three Idiots. There is a very important theme of that. Achieve the excellence, success will automatically come. Similarly, have the idea of what the people need, what the society needs. Research and innovation both will happen. Now, the name or definition of research and innovation, everybody knows in general, but let me put across little more classically about it. They are related, but they are independent distinctly. Where research means trying to find out something new. That new you may find out of a situation. Situation means you all must have heard the story of Newton, how he discovered gravity. I would be very, very thankful to all those if they leave their mutual talking for a later time and listen to this old man. Am I right? Yeah, that's good. So, Newton was just relaxing. but he saw something falling. Now there are interesting stories. Somebody says, that apple fell on his head. Somebody says on his nose. Somebody says on his mouth. Well, and he got annoyed. But the fact of the matter is, the apple fell. And that's where your mind should start working. Why is it happening? He started thinking why it is happening. And that's how he discovered. So that is this research for discovery. Now, reading it from here, systematic investigation to generate new knowledge, understand phenomena or solve problems. Understand phenomena. This was a case of phenomena. Something is falling only from top to bottom to the ground. New knowledge. I'll come to the new knowledge experience. And solve problems if you are facing something. We were talking in the morning about it, why Delhi gets so much of pollution, why its AQI level is high. Can't somebody scientifically find out its reason and get rid of that AQI level? A healthy AQI level in European countries and other places about AQI 10, 15, 20. Delhi and that area suffer 500, 400. Anyway, coming to us. Solve a problem. You have a problem that you are getting a water which is dirty. Solve that problem to make it potable, drinkable. So, to put it, identify gaps in knowledge, formulating hypothesis. Hypothesis, you understand? Hypothesis is an imaginary situation of a related to a real life world. Collecting and analyzing data, drawing conclusions. Now, what is innovation? Putting it simply, innovation is used in multiple contexts. So, let me also tell you. Innovation is something like an innovation idea. You must have heard the word jugaad. Okay, very common in India. Even Americans are surprised about it. What is this Indian jugaad? So, great Indian jugaad has become a very popular word world over. But the fact of the matter is that jugaad is also an innovation. Why it is called innovation and not a research? Because it is a solution to a need. Something is required. How to do that? Somebody has come out with an idea and done it. I have seen first jugaad and I have heard this word for the first time somewhere in 1985. I was posted in a remote unit in Punjab. When I was going, I suddenly saw in the evening a flat thing coming and a man-like, human-like person sitting on that and something odd. Anyway, I looked at it when it passed by my side. It was 4 wheels, a flat plank. There was a Kirloskar engine which is used for irrigation purposes, and there was an old Sardarji sitting on a wooden stool, not even a proper chair, and driving something. So I asked somebody out there who was local with me that time, कहता साहब जी इसको जुगाड़ कहते हैं. So the jugaad name actually has, to my knowledge, started from there, where that fellow needed some vehicle for his requirement, his load, his everything to be carried from place A to place B, not on his own head, not at the speed of a bullock cart, but something faster. So he had no money to buy a car, truck, trolley, tractor. He had an engine. He put it there and ultimately created a vehicle, cheapest vehicle. So this is a need-driven innovation. You must have seen, that sugar cane carrying out गन्ने की चरखी. People used to do it manually. Now they have attached a pump also, a diesel engine to that. So it is manual load connected. I'm sure most of you must have seen a video where a person has created a steel structure, a V-shaped steel structure, two-side V-shaped steel structure joined by 2 bars. On one side, there is a seat there. There is a steering wheel connected over there. Other side, he has connected 2 more bars in which there is a cloth and his child is hanging like a swing. There is another bar in which his wife is sitting. In front, there is a ganne ki charki and he is sitting behind. Same diesel engine, and he's driving his entire family, and he's driving on a road. No license required, nothing. This is called jugaad, innovation, in all words. Now, research leads to innovation, need leads to innovation. The difference is when you want to learn something, you come out with an idea and try to practice it and do a research. When I was in 8th class, I remember I studied, electromagnet. I was highly impressed with that. That in the book of physics, the electromagnet, they have just shown a small rod and just few spirals across that. So I didn't realize that you have to create a number of spirals to create an electromagnet. And then I also read that steel makes permanent magnet. So it came to my mind, okay, let me make permanent magnet at home. So I took a steel spoon and put a wire, about just 3-4 round, it is what shown in the book, and put it into the plug. Fair enough, short happened, I didn't even realize fuse went off. So I thought, oh, there is no supply. I again put the fuse and again went there and again it happened. So then when I went to the school and asked my physics teacher, it is not happening. He gave me a gentle slap. He says, stupid, what you see in the book is only an example. What you really practice is something where you have to go deeper into it, that how much resistance is required to be created by the coils to create a steel into a magnet. Right. So the question is need, solution, and its practical implementation. These are the three aspects of research and innovation. Now coming back to this, here our focus is lots of research in the country happens. Lots and lots of research happen in the data unauthenticated but practical and realistic is only 1 to 2% of research gets converted into actual product. And all these research which are there happening in IITs or any other institute or any other point, this is a fact. And that is why government is also hesitant in releasing the funds for the project, that what ultimately will happen. Because it's a fact and it's a sad fact, and you all, I'm sure faculty people must agree with this, that majority of them ultimately prepare a nice report, nice thesis, a nice presentation is made. You get A grade or S grade or something, and after that, the particular report goes where? To the library, to be used by whom? By the next researcher, to use it as a reference. We have to come out of that. Now, every research anywhere done in the world also does not mean that 100% will go to market. But this percentage has to go up. Europe has taken a very conscious decision, and they also had a very low percentage. They have a event, they call it ICT, every 2 years it happens, where they promote academicians and the industry, startups and all that. A very huge event, and government spends a lot of funds out there. Their percentage has gone up from just about 5% in last 15 years to good about 40% plus. Why? Because before a research is approved, where is it going to be utilized? And there are different elements also. I mean, you just want that it should be applied, it will not happen automatically. You have to put all parts together. And what are all the parts? I'll come to that little later, but to just give you an open entry, if you have done a research, then somebody has to make a product out of it, somebody has to make a testing out of it, somebody has to make a prototype out of that, somebody has to ultimately take it to the industry to develop it, and when it goes to the industry to develop, industry would need, where is the market? If I spend 2 crore or 5 crore rupees in manufacturing it, who is going to buy it? So all these elements are important in converting a research into a real product. Now, giving you a broad idea, there are various types of project: quantitative, analytical, research, dominated, human-oriented. But these are two broad definitions in which the research can be categorized. One is called fundamental research and one is called applied research. Guys, are you understanding these? Last person sitting out there, that smart lady. Are you getting it? What is What is fundamental research? Can anybody say from this side? What is fundamental research? Fundamental research is basically to understand something, to get something new, to analyze something, to explore new ideas, like evolution of human being, like how the galaxy controls the gravity of the rest of the universe. It is not going to affect you on my life. But once somebody comes out also with a nice report that this is how it happens, at the instantly it is not going to affect you. Applied research is always that you have some target in mind. That I have to provide moisture-based irrigation for the farmers of Indian subcontinent. So you have a clear target. Now you have to do a research. How will you be able to identify a moisture-based situation which is related to crop also, so that your irrigation happens in accordance with the need? These are called applied research. And similarly, like anything, for example, in this hall, supposing you want that, no, you don't want the speaker to carry a mic and all that, and just he speaks and everything goes into your mind and you're not distracted. Somebody will do a research to that also. Maybe with AI coming and ML coming, one day that will happen. Okay. Today, this morning, I was sitting in the dining hall and seeing it, trying to open that small, you all must have seen the can, packed can, which come with a tight metallic cover. Comes on a butter also, it comes on curd also, it comes on ice cream also, many things. Does it open very easily? It doesn't open easily. Many times you spill it out. So I was just talking jokingly to the person sitting next to me that don't worry, AI is coming. One day, the wrapper itself will tell, okay, may I open? Is it a good idea for research? Okay. That's on the lighter side. Now, fundamental research automatically gets translated into a very big applied aspect of it, which the researchers themselves don't know. Okay, over a period of time. Here are two examples of that. The earlier one is penicillin. It happened in 1923. They were just doing the research on certain fungus behavior. But they found out that the fungus is killing the bacteria around. And today penicillin has become a very powerful antibiotic, quite spread. But it was a fundamental research, became an applied research. DNA. In 1953, they were working on a DNA about human behavior, how to relate them, how the humans can be related to a particular parentage, everything and all that. Today, everybody knows DNA. Whenever there is a crime, whenever there is a unknown body, you try to catch DNA. You compare DNA. I think it's a very famous but popular word, I believe all of you know, and their utilization also. There's a very famous story about some politician, his son was trying to fight it out that no, I'm his son, and the father was saying, no, he's not my son. And finally, the DNA proved that no, he was his son. So there was a big joke going around, okay, and the father was saying, no, he's not my son. And finally, the DNA proved that no, he was his son. So there was a big joke going around, okay, उनके यहाँ पे बाप आया है, कहते हैं ना, बेटा आया है. So these are the things also happen. Now, DNA, by the way, let me tell you a very interesting story. Where the DNA was first announced, research on DNA. It was not announced in any research institute, it was not announced in any auditorium, it was not announced in any conclave or anything. It was announced in Cambridge in a bar which is known as Royal Air Force Bar. And that Royal Air Force Bar in the evening, this gentleman got up after their drinks, etc. and all that. He said that this is what I have discovered and all that. And by the way, there is another story of that Royal Air Force Bar. That Royal Air Force Bar is not a very big bar. It has the signature of all the Air Force personnel. It is related to 1942 war. All the pilots were there to go for a mission next morning. And they were not knowing it, that they were not sure whether they will come back or not come back. So they decided to sign up over there all over the ball. And that's how that particular signature campaign became famous. And thereafter, anybody from any Commonwealth country who is from the Air Force goes there, they request him to sign, and incidentally one day you may find myself. I have also signed over there. You will one day see that. Anyway, coming back to our main topic. So fundamental also becomes applied and applied in any case. Now, this aspect I have touched to a certain extent, but now here the serious points come into picture. Why are we so poor in our translation of research into innovation? Or rather, I'm putting it simply, why our researchers go to library more rather than go to an industry and get converted into a products. And it's a very touchy aspect of it, and I'll be very frank about it. And I've gone through certain papers published. I've tried to download them to the Google and other places and all that. And these are the outcome of certain papers, beside my own understanding and reading when I have been interacting with universities for a very long time. The first and foremost thing is inadequate industry and academic institutes interaction. This topic, and faculties, please note down this. This is not something new. Industry academic. You go to a government, they say there should be industry academia relationship. You go to any big body, CII, RAID, association, NESCOM, industry academia. Remember one thing, it is not just a simple formal routine meeting. One paper has come, two people have read out certain paper, somebody has talked something, after that a high tea has happened and that's the end of it. What actually required is what in a business company, the concept of sales target achievement. What does it mean? That there has to be one-to-one meeting. Supposing you are coming out with something, and you are coming out with something, that means you have to regularly one-to-one go and interact. Achievements don't happen by in a conference. Conference is good for general idea, sharing idea, everything. But when it comes to actual achievement, it has always to be one-to-one and repeated follow-up. Today in our country, the interaction between industry and academia is cosmetic, if that's the best word I say. Please do not mind. Okay, we have conferences, we meet, we invite people, give them nice talks and lectures. Ooh, welcome, sir. You have come exactly at the right time because that's the striking point that I was going to touch about. Why our innovation percentage is so low. What is it? Research and what is innovation are tried to pump in, of course, they already know. So this is actually the talk which I was mentioning about is why in our country the research getting translated into a real product marketed by a company is so poor. Nobody, I have not been able to at least lay hands. I am only quoting the words of one of the director of CDEC in about a conference about 4 to 5 years back, where he mentioned that this is the reality that and he talks about not research institutes like this, he talks about the other research institute also which are happening, which are there in the country. There are many. CDAC is one, and ICAR is one, and there are so many. This is the level of percentage. So why so? So the first and foremost thing is the interaction between industry and the academia. And I was mentioning them that today the word is very well known all across. Industry says industry academia, every lobby you talk of CII, WIKI, SOCHM, etc. Everybody says industry academia. In every conference there is a one point, for discussion industry academia. Government also knows. But what actually happens, I just use a little strong word. I say all this industry academia interactions are more cosmetic rather than real. We all gather, make good speeches, good speakers come, talk very nicely, and after that a very nice cup of tea and everything that they end up with. It cannot happen. And I'm sure you will agree, it has to happen in the sales mode. When you tell a person, a sales head, that your person has to go to the market, sit with the customer, and find out and create a need in, because there is a common saying when I was in Tata and Infotech, They say that if you come to know about a requirement through a tender, you have already lost it. You have to be there before the tender is out. What basically it means to us, research and innovation? It basically means that concept is there. There is an approval from everybody across, but how to translate it into reality? The research people have really brilliant ideas to create a research. Market is always in need of something new. The two don't talk. The two talk, but they don't talk in a manner they are required to talk. They are sit across each other over a cup of tea, over a drink, or whatever it may be, but they must understand what is needed. And then the journey ahead, the roadmap, if it is converted, how it will be converted to product, to whom it will be sold, is there enough market, where from the funds will come. These are all the different aspects have to be studied, discussed jointly, because academics, especially in doing the research, creating new ideas, finding design solutions, etc. Industry people, company to company, they do the market research. What is the product that's going to sell? How is it going to sell? Even if it is not today visible, when its need will come. And I'm telling you, there are two types of situations in which need come. A new product always doesn't straightaway sell. I was sharing the information. Paytm everybody knows. Today, a vegetable vendor, rickshaw driver, auto driver, everybody uses Paytm and you hardly keep any money. Paytm was launched in 2007. Nothing happened. They could hardly get any revenue or convince anybody to use Paytm. They even went to the famous TV channel NDTV, became partner. Nothing much happened. Then the first stage happened when the demonetization happened. People didn't know what to do and all that, couldn't go out, so they started using this little bit. But the actual impact happened when COVID happened. People started getting scared of touching currency, and that's when it got the boost. So there are timings also important for a particular. That was also a new idea. But when it will get launched, timing is also important. Now, timing is not under your control. Nobody knew that COVID is going to come. So those are isolated incidents. But the innovation should not and cannot afford to wait for such events to happen. It has to happen along with the market. So, as I was saying, lack of proper is the keyword. Academic industry interactions. Interactions do happen, but they do not happen the way it will really result into innovation. There is another thing which I read into and which is believed is mindset of the researchers. There's a terminology called blue eye researchers rather than problem oriented. Anyway, so these are the quick points. I have got a discharge from the Field Marshal that I must wind up soon. So I'm trying to find it as soon as possible. See, one is getting into an ecstasy. I would love to study what is going to happen after the known galaxy when the sun is going to get completed its lifestyle, isn't it? Why the colors of the flowers are, multiple layers. That's ecstasy. You can do the research and all that. But that research is going to library. Try to correlate your research with the need of the market. And then the researchers also should get a formal recognition, because if they get related to the industry, they want to focus their product, the research to get converted into product. There should be some incentive for that. And incentive are of two kinds, which is suggested at this point of time. There can be more. One is monetary. That means when the debt gets converted into product or it comes for any initiative, there should be a certain degree of monetary benefits and rewards in a continuous manner to the person who has carried out the research. And second thing is, it should also add to his career profile. Today, the common thing in the academic world is how many papers have been published. How many papers have been published in which journal, IEEE journal, this journal. Papers have been published, fine, but what happened thereafter? So this How many research work have got converted into a real product and are now going around in the market should also become a part of a criteria for every faculty, every research scholar to get added into his career profile in his CV. This I have spoken while I was talking about that, but this is quickly I am reading through. There should be it should be a statutory requirement, possibly from the government side, that every research institution must have certain membership and MOUs with the industry bodies. How it is to be done is a later thing to be done, how practically it can be converted into, but it is a must, and there should be no fees or negligible fees on the research institutes. Okay, today triple ITM have is membership for CII, but it should be more. Regular interaction I have talked about, regular mutual sharing of information. That is very important. What you are doing in research and what industry needs. How it can be possible is there should be, you should, once you have an MOU and all that, there should be web pages and all that where what is the need in the market, the industry lobby should say, you should be able to see that so that the researchers can have a look at that and pick up topics out of that. And similarly, what research the institutes have done, that should be available on the industry lobby's website. Those who log in should be able to see that. The third aspect, of course, you have to take care of IPR protection, because naturally everybody likes to have whatever work they have done protected so that he continues to get benefit out of that. And IPR, but should not be the prime object. I will tell you an example in one of my case study that one of the lady from one of the premier IIT ultimately we have to drop her out of the whole list of the research combination because her only topic was IPR. What topic, what subject was secondary. Anyway, this I have talked quickly touched upon. Now there are two case studies. They're supposed to take some time, but I'll try to finish up as early as possible. This case study is something which is going on right now in Triple IT in Golia. We have the MSMEs are the real growth engine and GDP and contributor of the country. But they also come out with the ideas. It is because of that a real experience that has driven us into creating this particular design development testing and certification center at an academic institution. And Dr. Sahu and the Department of Intelligence are the taking lead in this particular topic with the participation of the director. And we are tying up with the main manufacturer association of electronics. This is the purpose behind it. MSME need it. They have the idea, but to convert that idea into design, they require talented people. They cannot hire talented people because talented people require money. And even if they join, they leave after some time. So, where there is a need, there is an idea, there is nobody to convert them into real design. So here at this particular center, which is an academic institution, they will be able to access that and they will be able to get their design at a very reasonable rate, which the MSME can afford. This is what I have been discussing. May I have quiet, please? It's not a very decent idea that you doing the crosstalk there. So I quickly read out, invite innovative ideas from the market, effective applied. So what is the research, the roles which is defined if we have this thing? Research institute perspective is to get idea from the field, to get effective or a need-based research, they should be able to do that. Incentive for the faculty and students who are involved in this particular thing, and incentive will be both monetary and profile. I just mentioned recognition to the institute. The institute should also get recognized nationally that this is a pioneering institute which is helping in terms of research and innovation, which is helping the growth of the Indian manufacturer, make in India. Now this is the data, not relevant at this point of time. This is the need status, growth of electronics manufacturing from in last 10 years has been sixfold. From 11.3 lakhs to 1.9. There's something mistake. 1.13 to 1.9. So these are the challenges which I have already talked about. So this is what we are doing it. Triple ITM has got qualified skill pool of resources, team design development, lab testing. Benefit to IIM, it is again more or less same thing put in a different one. Practical learning, practical learning by the faculty, practical learning by the students and scholars. Achievement, marketable solutions provided to industry, share in IPR. They can get even royalty, prospect for revenue share and royalty, incentive on contributing to faculty. And then mate will be able to do this. This will be the role and responsibility of the mate. We will discuss it separately in detail. These are other sources of funds. Testing and certification, I talked about it. Actually, the situation is quite pathetic in the country. The institute has got much more better capability as well as the equipments, and they should be able to provide, and there will be more recognizable certificates because there are a number of certificates. Any product which goes into the market should have a certification. Here are certain name of various standards. Bureau of Indian Standards is very popular in India. These are for those who want to manufacture their product and sell it to Europe. You require Europe standards. These are their logos. This is for Canada. Similarly for UK, FC, etc. And this is going to support Make in India, which is a bigger vision. This is another case study. It has a number of slides. I would, due to paucity of time, I will just speak it out. Agriculture people, when we talk, they say that growth in the agricultural produce has reached to this saturation because of the agricultural research. Because agricultural research is rather chemical research, chemistry, soil chemistry, seed chemistry, other things and all that. They have reached the level, and the country had this problem. The objective is demand-driven research. It should be collaborative. Collaborative means technical institute, agricultural institute, farmer. Who is the stakeholders? The stakeholders are multiple. It is not just the research institute. It is the agriculture farmer, the market, the people who are using it, the industry, the agriculture research institute, and the technical research institute. These are the universities which have been joined. Mr. Deepak, I would like to draw your attention about these are the people who are not part of the consortium. These are the different institutes in India and Europe who are part of our consortium, who we are driving. These are the agriculture universities, those are the technological universities, and these are the universities from Ireland. And more are in the pipeline. This is data about our village and produce. Now, what happens today? Let the first line itself explains everything. Silo syndrome, that means every research happens, it happens in isolation. Somebody in technological institute comes out with a brilliant idea, but that idea may be good, but whether actually that is needed or not, if somebody is thirsty and you can come out with a very high quality, some other drink or a single malt whiskey and all that, that fellow will not be happy. He requires water. Duplicacy of efforts, limited viability analysis, blurred sustainability, आगे क्या होगा, कैसे चलेगा, कौन produce करेगा, will it be viable or not, will its price will be affordable, all those things. So this particular consortium, these are the key features. It is pan-India collaboration, which will be pan-global. That is the most important thing. Need-based analysis, hybrid project team. Every project is written by a combination of the technical institute researchers and the agriculture institute researchers. And agriculture institute, by the way, they have got a very good system. They have a separate department which is called education extension, whose job is to get the demand of the farmers. They have to interact with they are the interface with the farmers. Anyway, this is the process starting the lead generation, analysis, development, and scaling industry adoption, mass production, and consumption. This is the last slide. So this is what we have done already. A journey with a difference, nation building through innovation. This is anyway. Forget about it. This man.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful and enlightening words.
We deeply honored to
welcome Sri Deepak Gaiser sir, Chairman of BOG IIIT Gwalior and Chief Mentor of Gencover Group, a visionary leader and pioneer in India's biotechnology and financial sectors. We welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Hello. Now. Hi, good afternoon. I know after this there's a lunch, so I don't want to stand between you and lunch for long. So what I'll do is taking forward from what Sharma talked about on innovation and case studies. I think one of the things I took it from him ultimately is to convert innovation into value proposition, a business model. And we run also a private equity fund of around 1,500 crores. One of them, there are two more. And we see a lot of innovative ideas coming every day from youngsters, from older people, business people. And I keep on wondering that how you decide whether to fund a particular innovation or not to fund a particular innovation. And then when I analyze last 6 years, probably I've gone through 4,000 ideas, which are supposed to be innovative ideas of various nature. So what I do just now in next 15 minutes is give you some ideas on how the thinking is, how the things happen, and probably to help you to convert your innovation into the financially feasible venture and create ultimately value out of it. But that is more important. And I'll try to make it interesting also because I see a lot of school kids around. So I must keep them also engaged in the whole position of it. Right? You're ready to listen to some stories? Hello? Yes. Say loudly. Yes, sir. Good. Okay, so let me tell you some stories. So the first story I'm going to talk about is a venture that was never thought a venture. Right? There was a young girl like you, one of you, who had a habit of listening to advertisements on, watching the advertisements on TV all the time while studying. And father used to always say that when you're studying, don't watch the TV, but this girl would rather continue to do that. One of the ads she used to love. And one day it so happened that 3 times that ad came halfway down and the program started, the ad was cut. So she got a little upset. Fortunately, she had a friend who was working for that company. So she called her friend and said, listen, today your ad came 3 times and they did not show it fully. They just cut it off. So I'm very upset. That girl happened to talk to her boss and told him the same thing. After a couple of days, this young lady gets a call from the boss saying that your friend told me that you saw our ad but it was not complete. Can you come and meet me? So she went to meet her and meet the boss. The boss said, listen, you watch my ads anyway, every day. So every day evening, you have to report to me whether my ad was completely shown on TV or not. How many times, whatever it is shown, since you watch it every day. So she agreed. And every evening, she used to report whether the ads the whole day of that company were shown fully or not. And that company started paying her for her service. So what she was doing is actually the ad audit. Now, cut to, this was a story 4 years back. Today, this girl has employed 64 young ladies. Their job is to watch ads every day on TV and inform those various companies whether their ads were shown fully or not. Because once you have the ad fully not shown, the company can claim back money from the advertisement agency because you took the money but you did not show that. So point is, this is not involved in technology. This doesn't involve. This is an idea that came. This is a simple thing that person was trying to do something. So what we call it is an accidental innovation, like what Mukunji told about in the morning. This is the highly technical stuff. But this is something where the business started, and that business is rolling because you know that number of ads that come and number of money that are spent on advertisement. These are as simple as that. You also require a lot of passion in what you're doing. So my second story goes. So I was traveling to Europe, and in business class there was a young guy sitting next to me, Indian guy from Ahmedabad, and when we talked, so he said, I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from Ahmedabad beach industry. So he said, I'm in textile. I said, what in textile? So he said, oh, I manufacture these labels that are put on apparels, your shirts or whatever. So I said, what are you going there for? He said, no, I'm participating in the exhibition and marketing visit. So I was wondering, the guy manufacturing that kind of labels, which probably would cost between 1 rupee to 20 rupees per piece, can afford business class, can come to Europe for marketing. So I just asked curiously that how come you are doing this? How can we afford? So he said, sir, you know what shirt you're wearing? I said, yeah, this is probably Arrow shirt that I'm wearing. You know what is the cost of this? I said, maybe 500 rupees. You know, in spite of knowing that this Arrow shirt costs 500 rupees, you know why did you buy it 2,500 rupees? Because my label is there. So he was not worried that his product is small or a very cheap product. What he was passionate about, what he was proud about, that his label changes the selling price of the apple. Okay. I think that kind of a pride in whatever you do, is your innovation, it is your idea, you should own that. Because if you own that idea, you can take it to the next success level. The third story. So I was waiting for my car to come in Mumbai on a footpath. And suddenly I find a kabadi wala, you know kabadi wala, the person, the lady who collects the garbage from everywhere. So two ladies around 60, 65 were sitting there and footpath and talking to each other. And I overheard one lady telling the other lady, that I just came from the bank, I have deposited a fixed deposit of a lakh rupees. I was quite curious that the kabadi wala bai, she has made a fixed deposit of 1 lakh rupees. Is she making that kind of money? So curiously I asked her, I sat with her actually, because if you ask standing there with your dress card, she will not talk to me. So I went and sat with her and asked her, I just heard you saying that you deposited a lakh rupees as fixed deposit in the bank. She said, yes. Why are you so surprised? This is my 7th deposit. So she has already deposited 7 lakh rupees. So you make so much of money. You're in what business you're in? She said, no, I'm in kabadi wala business. I collect garbage from various people. The things that you throw out, I collect them and sell them. But how come you can make so much of money? So she gave me a mantra. This is almost illiterate looking lady. Not gone to any management school, not gone into technical class. What she told me, you should know where to buy and you should know where to sell. An example she gave me, was there was some redevelopment going on of building, so people were discarding their old material. And I saw one big clock being thrown out as garbage. I saw that clock and I realized that it was 1925 clock. So I went to that owner and asked him, can I take that? So guy was more keen that the things should be disposed of. So he told, please take it. How much should I pay? He said, no, nothing. You just take it. He said, no, no, no. I should pay you something. So she paid him 100 rupees. Now why she took it? Because she knew that a guy in Kolaba, old Parsi fellow, he's buying all 1935 before clocks as a collection item. That was he was a collector of clocks. She went and sold him that unique clock of 1925 for 5,000 rupees. Now she said, if I do a business by buying 100 rupees and selling it at 5,000 rupees, are you surprised that I can have 7 lakh rupees as deposit? No. The lesson I learned is business, innovative idea, value creation is not only a technology driven or education driven, but it is more so by you having the information where to buy and where to sell. Because if you don't do this both, you can convert your idea into a value proposition. If you don't know that, then any good, great idea that you have cannot create a value of it. And if that lady who was sounding illiterate or in normal course you call her illiterate, she knew how to do business, how to convert her idea into value proposition. So this is what India is all about. We call it jugaad, but it is not a jugaad. I mean, call it very derogatory way from jugaad. But I think the jugaad now world also is trying to be more curious that how we solve the problem. So we were trying to define the innovation number of times in the morning, but I think innovation is something where we're trying to solve somebody's problem. And when I talk about the startup businesses, people ask me what you call startup. As a startup to me is something where you are trying to solve somebody's pain point. If you're solving somebody's pain point, for that you have to understand what is the pain point in the society. And simple logic is, if the pain is larger, the chances of your success in business are larger. If pain is smaller, for example, water problem of Gwalior, then the pain is smaller to the extent of Gwalior. And if you create a business out of it, it's not going to succeed scale. But take, for example, redbuzz.com. So redbuzz.com started from I am Ahmedabad guy who was a resident of Hyderabad, or placed near Hyderabad. And every time he realized that air ticket I can book, but bus ticket I can't book from Ahmedabad to go to my place in Telangana. So that was a pain point. And then he realized 10 other students in I am Ahmedabad have the same problem. And then he realized that most of the people in India have the same problem. So the pain point was larger. So he started creating a platform whereby you can hop around the buses and book on the click. And they actually succeeded. Now some 2,000, 3,000 bus owners or bus people are his members, so I can book a ticket like an aircraft or like a railway from one place to other place by hopping around in two places in a day. Probably you can create that business model to solve it. But what it's around, what we must understand, your old ideas may not succeed all the time. Or if you have done some good things and succeeded for some time, that will not allow you to succeed all the time in the future. For example, competitions are changing. Now you know who sells the maximum music? It is not Saregama or it is not HMV. It is Airtel who sells the maximum music. Why? Because we buy those tunes for ringtones and all. they are the maximum sellers of music, not Saregama, who is supposed to be selling maximum music. So competition is completely changed. If I'm a film industry guy and I want to launch a film, I will ensure that it is not an IPL season. Because IPL season, most of the theaters show the IPL matches. So suddenly for film industry, the competition has become the IPL. And not another film or not Shah Rukh Khan film or not some other film. IPL is a. So you must understand how the market is changing, how the things are changing substantially, the competition is changing. And the competition is changing, you must understand the competition, which area of the market the competition is going to come from. Because if you don't understand that, I think you are likely to fail in your business. There are also old ideas that are repackaged. I will call it another way of innovation. I mean, take example of candles. Now, when electricity came, actually candles had no value. It should have gone out of market. Nobody would have done business out of it. But the way in which it is rewrapped, today all of us buy candles for decoration, for fragrance, for light, everything. We have candlelight dinners. It's supposed to be very specific and special things. So suddenly they packaged the same candles into different form, gave a different value to it, and started marketing it. It is a business innovation of an old product packaged into a new area. So point I'm making is that innovation need not be creating new product all the time or new service all the time. Innovation can also create a new package of an old product. Similar thing happens to paintings. Once photography came, I think the painting should have gone, painter should have gone on. But today, painting is sale of painting, a market of paintings is one of the major markets of value creation. Most of the artists are doing a huge commercial success with their paintings, with their portraits, with their landscapes, with abstract, whatever. Because they repackage their service to suit the market. The only thing your ability to change yourself, to understand what market is, understand what Gen Z requires, understand how power games changes. Now these kids which are sitting there are much different than how my generation or even generation in between behave. I always say since I got my two sons, when I was young, my parents used to tell me, you don't understand, listen to me. Now my kids tell me exactly the same thing, Dad, you won't understand, listen to me. So my generation never understood anything. But we have to accept this. Why? Because this new generation, these kids, they want power in their hand. If I tell my son when he was young that you have to go for this camp, summer camp, if that was told by my father, I would have definitely gone for that without asking question. My son's reply to my wife was, you give me the options, I will decide where to go. You must have experienced that at all. So if that is the way this market is going to behave, then you have to give them the choice. And your innovation, your enterprise, your new business is going to not give that choice to them. And one of the classic example of that is most of the homes, the dinner time is decided by the serials that run on the channels. Right? This generation is not going to watch TV. They are going to watch anything that they want on OTT whenever they want to watch. They are going to pay for that. If that is so, then I will not invest anything on TV channels. I will not invest it. I will invest on content creation. Because the content is something that they would love all the time. I think I will not take more time because it's 1:30 almost. And we are all hungry to go to lunch. So I wish again all the best. Those who have got innovative ideas, please try that out. Love boxing. I keep on telling that people love boxing because in boxing you don't lose because you fall. You lose only when you can't get it again. So in entrepreneurship, in innovation, in ideas, you will keep on falling. Get up again before somebody comes 10 and start fighting again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. I would like to inform you all that we have scheduled following events for today. Business plan competition, startup exhibition and science exhibition from 2:15 p.m. onwards in hall number 1, ground floor, Convention Center. Case study competition and best innovative idea competition from 2:15 p.m. onwards in hall number 2, ground floor, Convention Center. BTP, MTP and PhD presentation competition from 2:15 p.m. onwards in B106 LT1. Also, we have startup exhibition and science exhibition from 1 p.m. onwards in open area convention center. I would like to announce that lunch is arranged from 1:30 p.m. onwards for experts, faculty, staff members, PhD scholars, and participants in convention center. Please proceed for the lunch, and I request you to kindly attend all the events scheduled for today. Thank you.